Welcome back. On Thursdays here on News 9, we are going in depth with the Oklahoma City Police Chief Wade Gourley.
Yeah, this week we're talking with the chief about how his department's overcoming a shortage of officers and the unique recruiting efforts. Here's our Dana Hurtnicki.
All right, Chief Gourley, welcome back and good morning. Thanks for being with us again.
Thanks for having me.
So we are talking today about hiring, right? Sounds simple enough, but there is a lot more to it. Let's take a look at some of the numbers. At last check, OCPD is budgeted for 1,235 sworn positions. Right now, about 1,000 are filled, so OCPD is down about 200 officers, and with rapid growth in the city, does this put your need for recruits at a critical level?
It definitely does. Recruiting is very difficult within the police department, and it's not just us in Oklahoma City. It's all around the country that, you know, we've seen challenges to hiring police officers. And so we're getting very creative in how we do this. I have a recruiting staff that works very hard and going and looking at best practices, coming up with things on their own. And there's kind of some novel things that we're doing to try and help. And what I've told my recruiting staff is, hey, nothing's off the table. If you guys got an idea, we're here for that. And it's been a struggle, but we are getting a little bit better. We just had 40 recruits start an academy last Friday, and so far that's going well, but it is a struggle.
And obviously they will help in the future, but in the meantime, you know, while they're getting up to speed, what are you guys doing to meet the needs of the city, and how does this shortages, does it hinder response times?
It can. What we do is we focus on what's critical. So the violent crimes are going to be something that we're going to respond to in a higher priority. Those are going to take priority over some of the property crimes that may hold a little bit longer. But we're also trying to work smarter with what we have in place now. We're doing things such as we're hiring a group of non-sworn individuals to add to our property crime specialists, which is a program we've had for several years. Those folks will now respond to non-injury accidents, so our police officers won't have to respond to as many of those. They're also taking calls such as burglary reports, other property crime type reports where we may not have a lot of suspect information, and they're going to be taking those. We're also in the process right now of bringing back some of our retired investigators to allow them to work part-time within the organization. We can't hire them full-time, but we want to bring some of them back to help with some of the paperwork that's involved with the caseload and the detectives, and that allows us to keep more officers out on the streets responding to those calls, and again, you know, put your resources where you need them and work smarter with what you have.
Kind of going outside the box, that's really, yeah.
Absolutely, I mean, we have to. And then of course, technology is playing a big role. You know, we have cameras in all of our vehicles now that are equipped with what we call license plate readers. And so if a crime occurs in a certain area, oftentimes we can use that data to find out if that vehicle used in that crime was in that area. And so it takes a little bit of, you still have to have a lot of legwork from your detectives, but at least it helps you kind of get guided in the right direction using that technology and solving crimes more efficiently.
Awesome. Chief, thank you so much. And of course, if folks want to be a police officer, you guys are looking for it, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, and we appreciate your time. Next week, we will talk about school safety as kiddos head back to class and what OCPD is doing to keep students safe, plus how officers are prepping for the worst case scenario. We'll see you next week.